to the Sactown Sports Kings recap. Wasn't sure how this one was going to end up tonight. Cannot lie to you. It was a roller coaster of a game, to say the least. Coming to you after the Sacramento Kings beat the Detroit Pistons 131. What did the Pistons end up scoring here? Let me see. I don't even remember what the final was. 131, 110 in Detroit. After, man, it was looking like it was about to be in contention for loss of the season. Sacramento Kings allowed the Detroit Pistons to score 47 points in the first quarter, and inevitably, everything felt like it was burning and crashing down right in front of our faces. I mean, I kind of was hinting that there was a possibility that the Kings could lose to the Detroit Pistons today on the radio, but fully, I mean, I really didn't believe it. That was just a bit of show, and the fact that this Kings team lost to the Blazers and to the Hornets, it was an easy jab to kind of give this team. But I was not expecting for the reality of that to possibly even come true, and to watch it happen in front of our faces. Man, it was scary to see, but I don't think that it's something we should forget just because this team did make a comeback. I think the fact that this team did kind of need that slap in the face from the Pistons before they eventually woke up, I think is telling of something else that's wrong with this team. The fact that they really needed to respond and ultimately did, sure, but the fact that it kind of took a slap in the face or a punch to the gut for this team to finally respond, I think is also a little bit telling of how this team is, and kind of the identity of who this team is. I think it's great that they did eventually pull themselves up, but ideally, I think you would like them to come out with that level of intensity, especially on the defensive end from the opening tip. And that brings me to the guy who did do that, the one guy who is blameless in tonight's game. I don't hear a single thing as I let my cat out here. Hold on, sorry. There we go. Uh, as I let my cat out. Yeah. So the one person who is exempt from all blame for tonight's game is Domantas Sabonis. I don't want to hear a word of complaint about Domantas Sabonis's play today, because he brought it from opening tip. He was the Kings' most useful weapon from the jump start of this game. And to me, it just shows, what kind of guy he is, and why he's so important to this team. A lot of people questioned his contract, and is he worth his contract? Is he that level of player? Night like tonight shows why at least this current Kings team absolutely needs a guy like Domantas Sabonis, because this is the kind of stuff that guys talk about. We don't pay attention to every single night. It's hard to bring the same level of focus. I think Draymond Green famously said on the what's that show, the LeBron show, The Shop. He famously said, it's hard for us to get up on a Thursday night in Sacramento and bring that same level of intensity that we bring to a game 7. But this is quite literally to build that same kind of scenario Draymond's talking about there. This is a Tuesday against the worst team in the NBA, who doesn't have their best player in Cade Cunningham going. And Domantas Sabonis brought it from the start. He was the Kings' battery to start this game. There was, yeah, I mean, he didn't need the Kings getting blown out to see or to understand that he needed to bring more intensity. He was ready to go from the jump, and man, I just think on a night like tonight, it really shows his character first off, because you know you're it took him a while to kind of get going and understand the severity of the moment. Harrison Barnes, anybody? Anybody see Harrison? I didn't see him tonight. It really just kind of back to normal stuff with HB. Didn't even notice him tonight. He wasn't in the closing lineup. Trey Lyles finished the game for Mike Brown's squad tonight. And Keegan Murray, I mean, Keegan ended up having a great night, but I vocally said in my mouth, I was like, where is Keegan Murray? It was 2 minutes and 10 seconds or something like that into the second And I said, "Where is Keegan Murray?" Because Jaden Ivey was giving it to us. Jaden Ivey was out there making mistakes. I'm willing to hear Jaden Ivey as opposed to CJ McCollum the other day saying, "Oh, Sacramento passed me in the draft in 2013, and so I was like to keep something for him." Like everybody who was in the organization when CJ McCollum was drafted is long gone. At least Jaden Ivey can say like, no, like Monty McNair passed on me. There's Keegan Murray, the physical representation of who these guys took over me. Jaden Ivey brought it, and it kind of took Jaden Ivey giving it to the Kings before he eventually stepped up and gave it right back. And I think that's something. Of course, much like the overall outcome of the game, it's great that he was able to kind of finally take that punch and respond. But against the Pistons, it shouldn't take you getting punched in the mouth for you to bring the proper energy. You should try and take advantage from jump. And I think that this is the team learning in real time. Like these guys have to understand that. Oh man, is my these guys have to understand that that you have to bring it on every single night. There is no nights off, even against the Detroit Pistons. Like you have to bring it. Like they're not just going to lay down and let you run over them. These guys only have 3 wins all season long. They're going to try and come out every single night and pounce on every opportunity they can, especially to start the game. They're going to try and kind of put you on your heels. Let's see here. But yeah, I mean, I definitely again, glad that the Kings ended up getting the result because they have to play the Charlotte Hornets tomorrow, who are already a team that snuck up on this team. So they're they're definitely going to have to bring it tomorrow. But man, I'm glad they got the result tonight. So shout out to Tomas, and he. I can spoiler alert, he's going to get the 3 stars from tonight. But yeah, I mean, what was everyone's thoughts kind of through that first quarter? I mean, because to me that's unacceptable. Like that's not something that we can just blow by and forget. That's definitely really, really bad for this team to have that kind of. I don't know. Yeah, I just think yeah, I just feel like this team it's scary because like if you can't beat the Pistons, like if you can't take care of the Pistons, again, like there's there's a lot tougher opponents. Man. There's a lot tougher opponents in this league than the 3-33 Pistons. So the way this team has been playing really since a little bit before the new year has been concerning. It has not been good basketball. They've been fortunate that they've been playing some weaker opponents, but if they continue to play like this, especially with Philly and Milwaukee around the corner. I know Milwaukee's not playing their best basketball right now, but um, they are really at risk here. If they aren't careful, they're at risk at really dropping into the play. I haven't seen what the Pelicans play today, but they do not. But the Kings are right there, and they're they're definitely at risk at falling here if they can't pick things up. So, kind of feels like to me, I'm interested to hear what Mike Brown talks about this game in the post game. Again, I'm sure he's going to be pleased that they got the result, but you have to be disappointed. That was just unacceptable. And with the trade deadline and all these trade whispers and rumors happening and circulating, just makes you think, man. I don't know. It just makes you think this team clearly needs some sort of shakeup. And it's a lot better sooner rather than later. What you don't want to do is make a move and then be stuck with that move and not be able to kind of adjust if there's another move that needs to happen or anything like that, and you're probably also going to pay a lot more the closer. Plus the amount of people. I don't know. To me, it's really clear, and I think it's a lot really clear to a lot of you out there. Really needs to do something. If we all can understand that, I can't imagine a lot of players just sitting there. Let's go on to our stars of the night. You know what? Actually, before that, I do want to talk about Sasha because it is interesting to me still that he's not playing at all. Again, on a night like tonight, where I mean JTA plays 14 minutes. I don't think Sasha is exactly the kind of guy that Mike was looking for. Um, he can trust we're going to give their 100%. Sasha doesn't give him 100%. You know, it just didn't feel like exactly the fact that he's not playing at all does. I don't think he's on the trade block because I do kind of think if he were on the trade block, they'd probably want to play him to kind of showcase him a little bit more because you know I don't think he's really super known, well known across the league. Like it is weird to me. I don't know exactly where his. I don't know. When I see HB out there, this guy provides things that aren't on the box score so many times before. It's just like, yeah. Um, I don't know. Yeah, I'm trying to figure out what's going on with the mic, y'all. I do see. Hold on. I might just switch. We're just gonna switch to. So this might not be as clear, but this is at least better. Yeah, I definitely think Sasha is somebody who, if they were if they were trying to shop, I definitely think he would be playing right now because they would definitely be wanting to showcase him and probably let people know what they're trading for. So I just feel like it's weird that he can't play. When I see HB playing right now, it just makes me wonder, like, you know, come on, this guy provides some shooting. I definitely think his defense is suspect, but if we're gonna value shooting a ton, you know, I did think Kevin played okay today, but I think Sasha is somebody who is a really good cutter, is somebody who is an unafraid shooter. But yeah, definitely at this point for sure, street thumper. This is exactly where I was getting. It's just I don't think Sasha is necessarily a better player, but I won't say he's like clearly better, but I think you can get what you're getting out of HB with Sasha. Like I definitely don't think that it's nothing that what HB is providing right now is anything special. And you know, he's really the only shots he's taking are open looks, which I think we all are very comfortable with Sasha taking open looks. So I don't know. It's definitely something to consider. I think the fact that Trey Lyles played really well today in the lineup, where actually another interesting nugget. There was instead of going with Davion Mitchell or Keon Ellis, today was the first time I've seen Mike Brown just straight up go Malik Monk at backup point guard. I think it was at the start of the fourth quarter. It was a Malik Monk, Kevin Herter, Keegan Murray, Trey Lyles, Demonis Sabonis lineup, and it worked really well. And it's funny because Malik has pretty much been the de facto point guard anyway. I mean, he's got the ball in his hands in that second unit the entire time. So it kind of makes sense. And once he rolled it out there, I was just like, man, I mean, this is Malik and Sabonis can just run pick and roll. And then you have Kevin Herter, Keegan Murray, and Trey Lyles just standing on the perimeter. If they collapse too much on the Monk Sabonis pick and roll, it really makes so much sense. Um, it's just I do wonder. Yeah, I mean, and that's another lineup too, where again I wonder like how could you get creative and make it work with Sasha, because somebody who shoots to Sasha's level, it is somebody who is like you might want to just kind of figure out how to get him out there, especially when this team is as inconsistent as it has been offensively. And if it seems like they're not going to fix the defense, which is a whole nother conversation, if you are just going to be a ridiculous offense, and that's fine. I mean, we saw them be a ridiculous offense last year and not really care about the defense. It's fun, but it doesn't lead to winning basketball. But if that's just what this season is going to be, I would much rather see lineups with Sasha Vezenkov in it than Harrison Barnes. And I frankly do think that all the smoke around HB in the trade rumors, like I think that there's a lot of fire to that smoke. I definitely don't think HB is going to be around much longer. So who knows? All of this could be leading to Sasha Vezenkov kind of finding a role after HB's gone anyway. Because this does really feel like the year. I know it's legitimately been like 3 or 4 years in a row now, but this really does feel like the season where HB probably does getting traded by the deadline. And he's had a good run, and we'll do a whole post-mortem after he's actually traded. But it just feels like this is the time. They're not getting much of anything from him. He was kind of this offseason was kind of a clear and obvious separation point. And the fact that they just kind of re-upped at a low number for 3 years just kind of felt like a holdover. It felt like something where they were both acknowledging, I don't know if we can both do better, so let's just figure this thing out later. Sound good? And how healthy does that sound? So it hasn't really worked out well this year. I think HB is going to be a solid piece somewhere else. I hope he ends up at a contender, but he's the only one today who I would say didn't respond. Again, like De'Aaron, I don't know what he's dealing with. I definitely think he's banged up in some capacity. He ultimately had a good game. He woke up a little bit. Malik Monk didn't need to be awoken. Like I said, Keegan Murray, he responded after Jaden Ivey hit him in the mouth. Sabonis was on from the start. Really, HB's the only one who didn't really have a moment tonight. I can't really think of anything HB did. And if I had to guess before I even look over to my left where I have the box score, I'm going to say HB played – man, I don't know, because with how the game – I'm going to say he played 21 minutes. And honestly, that feels like a max. If I honestly had to guess, I would say 18. He played 13 minutes. What? He played 13 minutes and 42 seconds. I'm actually shocked. I am actually shocked. That's insane. Finished 0 for 1, 0 for 2 from the free throw line. Don't remember those. Had an assist and a rebound. He was a -9. Y'all, that's crazy. That's crazy. You can't, like, HB's supposed to be the vet on this team. He's supposed to be the guy who, especially on a night like tonight when your whole team doesn't have it, come on, man. Like, you got to be able to bring something. You got to be able to bring something. That's embarrassing. That's embarrassing. Like, HB, I know he's super nice guy. I know, like, his game isn't super aggressive, but, like, at some point you got to have some pride. Like, you got to say, I'm nice. Like, I bring something to the table. I'm a $17 million per year player. Let me do something in my 14 minutes. That's crazy. That is absolutely insane. I can't believe that. I cannot believe that he actually played 14 minutes. And you know what? That's how coaches send messages too. And I don't even think that's just a message to HB. I again think that's Mike Brown sending a message to Monty McNair saying, look, I need to win this game. I'm not playing him. He's not on my list. He is not on my top 5. Okay. If aliens are coming down and I need the Sacramento Kings team to win a basketball game, HB's not in his 5. That is a statement. That's a statement. And I said it before the last game. I'm gonna say it. I'd be shocked if the Kings come back to Sacramento and there hasn't been a deal done, because that's crazy. That's crazy. You can't have that. And Herter tonight, 2 of 11, 0 of 6 from 3. I don't know what Mike Brown's going to have to say about that. I mean, that's, again, kind of a similar story where Mike Brown's fishing. He played Duarte in the starting lineup. Duarte gets a DNP tonight. He goes from starting to a DNP. Kevin Herter goes from starting to on the bench, has a good stint at the end of the last game to get him back into the starting lineup. He goes 2 of 11, 0 of 6. Where else is Mike supposed to go? Where is he supposed to go? Because now Malik Monk's the backup point guard officially. Like that lineup made tons of sense. I thought it was great. I thought it made Malik better. I thought it made the team better. They went on a great run. After making it way too close at the end of the third quarter, they kind of let go of the leash a little bit. I mean, that's crazy. Yeah, dude, this is crazy. Absolutely. This is Juan Toscano-Anderson tonight played 14 minutes, 17 seconds. Harrison Barnes played 13 minutes, 42 seconds. JTA played more minutes than HB. A dude on a 10-day contract, his second 10-day contract, just played more than Harrison Barnes. So, again, I think that's very telling of where they're at with that. And, JTA provided some good hustle. Four fouls, first off, I think is huge. Mike Brown, and I know Doug Christie loves that. If you're going to be out there, you might as well be physical, let them feel you, make an impact on the game. You got 6 of them, and JTA knows he's not playing 30 minutes, so you might as well use your fouls if you use them smart. He finished with 6 boards, too. Don't look now. I don't think it's going to happen. JTA might get some serious minutes. He's not going to get 30 minutes ever, but I mean, like, he might find himself in the rotation. I don't know if Trey played 30 minutes tonight. Maybe he can find his way into the starting lineup. I don't know. I think, Mike already played with that 2 guard with Kevin and Duarte. Something tells me Harrison Barnes' position will be next if no move is made. I think Mike kind of talked about it in the pregame tonight when talking about why he's going back to starting Kevin. He said sometimes you just got to switch things up just because things aren't going right. Sometimes you got to do things different for the sake of doing things different. I get it. I don't agree with it, but sometimes you got to have that logic when you don't know where else to go. Something tells me he's going to fall under that same logic where if things which things at the start of tonight were not feeling right. Something tells me Mike might look at his spot and say that can be my next little spot where I'm gonna shake up the snow globe just to see if we get some sort of different result. And JTA kind of does provide in a weird way, in the same way that Chris Duarte provides what Kevin Herter doesn't. JTA, I think, provides what HB doesn't, just a level of physicality. And you're going to notice JTA when he's out there. You saw him he kind of messed up or ruined his layup, got an offensive rebound off of it. Looked like he was going to put it up and then found Malik on the outside. It might not always be pretty, but he's going to make an impact on the game. And we'll also give JaVale credit for that. I do give JaVale a hard time, but he definitely does make his presence known as well. Okay, now I can move on to the 3 stars of the night. I feel like that was a nice little rant that I needed to get off. But first star of the night, let's go. Do I want to go Malik or do I want to go Keegan? I think I'm going to go Malik. I'm going to go with Malik only because Keegan played so well. Not even necessarily because Malik didn't do anything, because he did exactly what you want him to do. 20 points tonight, 9 assists. I talked about how he led that 1-second unit that went really, really well. I mean, this is what they need from Malik. He was not a part of that first unit that went down bad. He came in with that second unit and had some fire. Like, again, he's somebody who I think when Mike Brown, again, aliens coming down and are saying we gotta, put your best 5 Kings out there. Malik is absolutely going to be one of those 5 that Mike Brown just knows is going to show up. He understands that when he comes off the bench, he's got to be ready to go from the second he hits the floor. He was great tonight. Yeah, really deserving of a lot of praise, because there's so many nights where he saves them. He absolutely saves them so many times when they don't have energy. And thankfully, Sabonis just held the ship afloat, because I do think we're going to talk about him in a second, but I do think that, if Sabonis didn't have that energy with the first unit, it wouldn't have even been even Malik Monk wouldn't have been able to keep this thing from going bad. So shout out Domas, shout out Malik for initially keeping this thing even available to come back as the Kings got down 20 early. 2 stars going to Keegan. He was incredible tonight. Had shades of the Utah Jazz night where he dropped 47 on their heads, and also shades of the other night. I don't think it was against, or it might have been against Orlando, when I think Keegan was 11 of 15 from the field, but was like 9 of 11 or 9 of 12 from inside the arc. Got it done a lot of different ways tonight. You see that Dirk little fadeaway that he's got in his game, the little step back. He did take a nice little step back jumper 3 on Bojan Bogdanovic as well. Thought Keegan played great. He is such a great shooter, especially just off the catch or off no dribbles. He can really square his shoulders and knock it down, and it feels like it's going in every single time. But yeah, it's the other stuff that he's adding to his game that's really just making 30-point games possible for him. It's the fact that he's able to kind of diversify his buckets, and it's great to see that level of development out of Keegan. Again, like I said earlier in the show, I do wish it didn't take Jaden Ivey having an initial 15 points in the first quarter for Keegan to kind of wake up. But I am glad that Keegan did kind of recognize, Jaden Ivey's trying to make a statement. Let me stand up for for the guys here. Let me show why they ended up picking me and not you. So I'm glad that Keegan responded and really had a great game. And of course, the 3 stars of the night goes to Domantas Sabonis. Bro, Domantas Sabonis tonight was a man on a mission. Again, I already talked about it, but to show up on a Tuesday against the worst team in the NBA and just be ready. Because the Kings were thinking, I know they just got chewed out the other night, but I know they were definitely thinking, okay, this is the Detroit Pistons. Cade Cunningham's not playing. Isaiah Stewart's not playing. They're not going to be physical. They're not going to be able to score. Doesn't matter what we do. We can walk in there, sleepwalk, and still probably beat them. Sabonis did not have that mentality. Sabonis knows how it goes in the NBA. You got to be ready every single night, and nothing's going to be given to you. You have to go and take it, and you have to make your opponent submit. And Sabonis was ready. He was ready to give it to whoever was on him. He probably knew Isaiah Stewart wasn't playing, and so he wasn't really afraid of any of the physicality that any of the Pistons could give him. He could give 100% effort and really didn't have to worry about receiving any punishment on the other end, because James Wiseman's not going to be able to back him down. Jalen Duren's got a good body, but physically he's not nearly as strong as Sabonis. So shout out Sabonis, who again was just incredible from the tip, and got 13 assists even before he got the triple-double with his rebounds. With his 10th rebound, he had 13 assists through 3 quarters, setting people up. You saw him, set Malik Monk up off a couple DHOs. That's just what makes Sabonis so good. It's the fact that he's even able to get 37 points. Still surprises me, because he's so old school. He gets all of his points in the paint, which is the big thing they were highlighting on the broadcast. I think the Kings ended with 80 or something points in the paint, which is a season high. Sabonis was able to get whatever he wants, but the fact he's able to make other people better is so big, because if Keegan really struggles to get his shot off, Sabonis can make his life so much easier just by creating space, giving him time, allowing him to not have to create shots off the dribble, and instead just create by running off of Sabonis, screening his man, and getting an open look. You can't. That stuff is priceless. Screen assists are so undervalued in this league. If you can set somebody else up by scoring just by your screen, I mean, that's just as good as an assist. I mean, and it really should be a stat that's brought up more. But Sabonis is always amongst the lead league when it comes to screen assists, and it's what makes him so great and so irreplaceable. I mean, that's the thing. I remember last trade deadline, a lot of people were clamoring for a dude like Mason Plumlee, and I was totally for it because, I mean, more so last year when he was with the Clippers, he was one of the best screen assisters in the NBA, and that's really kind of the secret sauce. Not only is Sabonis' playmaking, but the fact that you can run the dribble handoffs and he can create space for others off of those dribble handoffs. So shout out Sabonis, yet another night where it's important to understand how important he is to this team. And this is also why this man was paid that big extension in the offseason, because sometimes, it's not just about what you bring on the floor in terms of, your numbers. The triple doubles are awesome. They're nice, but it's also about the mentality that Sabonis brings and what he represents. Like, if you have a guy like Sabonis on your team and you can get more guys like Sabonis on your team, or have his energy be infectious, that's priceless. If you saw him try and do it early in the game, like when he was just dominating. He had that spin move dunk on Duren. He turns around and screams, and it's, the Kings, I think, were down 13-25 or something like that, and he's not yelling because he's so juiced and he thinks he's so nice and he's trying to flex. He's screaming because he's like, do y'all see the intensity that I'm playing with right now? Like, can somebody match this? Can one of my teammates try and meet me at this level? Like, I think that's what he's bringing, and that's what he's trying to instill. I think that's his way of leading. Like, this team desperately needs leadership. I don't think a lot of these guys have the gift of gab, the ability to kind of, be a natural vocal leader, a connector. I think, De'Aaron's a lead by example guy. I think, Sabonis' screaming and actions are his way of kind of showing his leadership and kind of, again, a little bit more of a, follow by my example, what I'm showing you, not necessarily what I'm telling you. So, it's interesting. I don't know exactly if that's I don't think they responded from that, frankly, because Sabonis, like I said, did that in the first quarter, and that first quarter was terrible. I still think they do need somebody to get in their faces, a player to get in their faces and really take some accountability. But I think in a weird way, that scream was a step in the right direction for Sabonis' leadership. I think that was him kind of being extroverted about trying to get a message out. Like, I think that was him. Instead of screaming words, he just screamed. But I think it was definitely directed at his team and at his teammates. And I just hope that eventually somebody listens, because it shouldn't take 47 points. Again, if the Pistons can score 47 points on you in a quarter, imagine if you bring that same level of effort and intensity against the 76ers or against the Celtics. You'll get ran out the gym. You'll get scored 60 in a quarter. So let's while the win is nice, and I don't think anyone's going to forget it, we just really need to remember that in this team is a very, very dark place in which they can allow 47 points to the worst team in the NBA. So that's all I got for tonight. I'm really glad this wasn't a completely depressing stream. Going to try and get my microphone issue fixed. We'll see how that goes. As we know, it hasn't gone well all season long, but we'll be back at this thing tomorrow right here on the Sactown Sports YouTube channel and on the Twitter page as well. I will see y'all tomorrow at the end of the Hornets game. Peace, and let's go enjoy that beam. I saw the weather's a little nasty, so you can't really look at it, but let's enjoy it, because I almost forgot that the beam was a thing. It's been so long. Y'all have a great night.